Welcome back to Are You a Fan, where we explore individual characters from your favorite sci-fi, action, and fantasy genres. A big thank you to MoonBound Productions for supporting today's episode. If you would like to express your support, please like and share the show. Here's your hosts, d-rael and Joker.
Hello, folks. Welcome to MoonBound Productions' production of Are You a Fan? Behind the scenes style.
Yeah, very behind the scenes because that was horrible.
That was terrible. That was probably our worst yet.
Oh, that's recorded.
Yeah, that's recorded. So this week, folks, we decided to kind of change it up a bit. Instead of doing a character, we're going to go into a little exploration and review how this year's gone for us. So I, d-rael, have compiled some questions from some fans, and we will be sharing and asking them amongst ourselves.
And I tried to, but nobody wanted to answer.
Yeah, y'all need to get better about that. Come on. We will
help us out. We'd have more questions.
Yeah, we'll talk to you. We're down to engage with the fans. We are down with the young people.
God, you sound like a boomer trying to do that.
Yeah. Okay, so starting out, let's get into it. Some questions. First question comes from Hufflemom394. How long does an episode take to make from concept to post? That's actually a pretty solid question, and honestly, I feel as though Mr. Moon would probably be the best one to answer that.
I feel like we kind of just shotgun it. About a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in advance, we figure out who we're going to talk about, record on Saturday, and we're published by Wednesday.
Yeah, I feel as though, especially when there's no show, when there's actual like movies or shows coming out, we tend to have at least a few weeks to know who we're doing.
So, yeah, because we do tend to, if you count the from conception being when we decide the character, honestly, sometimes we've got characters months in advance.
Yeah.
Like right now, we have characters that are listed up that we're just waiting on release dates.
And then as far as like when the research actually begins, well, that depends on who's doing the research. If it is Joker over there, it tends to get going pretty well in advance and pretty good.
Because I managed to do the research on all the long characters where we're doing pretty much their whole story. And I think the longest one was Luke, and that was about a month in advance before the episode was even recorded.
About, yeah. And then if they're quicker, more like
most of our episodes. That
depends on how bad my ADHD is doing that week. Sometimes, beginning of the week, I get it done. Sometimes it only takes me a couple hours. Sometimes a couple days, depends on the character. My ADHD is real bad. Could take me the whole week, or it could take me a few like a day before. And I send it off to Joker to fact check me, and I'll kind of cover my ass. Okay, I feel like that covers that question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to our next one. This question is by Fuzzy Wicked. This actually seems like a question for me. Is my main gig job Lyft driver, or is that a side job? If it's the main, does it actually pay enough to live off of?
It's your only job.
It is actually, yeah, it is kind of that is my money-making job, because I'm not making any money at this one yet.
This is more of a unpaid internship.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good way to look at it. That's actually a very accurate, valid way to look at it. So, no. This recording and this podcast, this is our dream job. This is what we would hopefully like to start making some money at. And, why don't you spread the word and maybe we can do this full time. Okay, let's move on. We got us another question from Hufflemom394. This one's for all of us. Okay. This one is a fairly basic question, they say, but what's everyone's favorite Marvel character and also Star Wars character? So what the two of you got?
You want to go first? Or are you just having to think?
Thinking. You go first.
So, I know Star Wars, that's an easy one for me. I mean, it's kind of two. It's both Jango and Boba Fett. Because I love the Mandalorians, and I've loved their stories. And playing Bounty Hunter just made me love Jango even more.
Oh, that was a good game.
Marvel's a little more... It's kind of a toss-up between Cap and Thor.
Yeah, I could see that. I'd have to say Star Wars for me, Qui-Gon Jinn. And I'll admit, I'm a little biased because I love Liam Neeson. But also, I really do like the Bendu.
Yeah.
From Rebels. And he's probably one of my favorites. And as far as Marvel is concerned, I'd say my long-time running favorite from since I was a kid had to be Spider-Man.
I knew that one was coming.
Spider-Man, he was my first real hero. And that, I had all the toys, all the merchandise. So he was probably my long-time running favorite. I've grown to have other favorites. Like I love Doctor Doom, Wolverine, Cap. But, I'll always be a Spider-Man guy.
I guess recently, Shang-Chi from the Ten Rings. Just because it was different.
Yeah, no, he's a pretty cool character. And that's not a bad one.
I guess follow-ups would be, probably Captain America and Falcon.
Falcon.
That was a fun one.
That was a fun one.
Yeah. What was the other part of the question?
Star Wars.
Star Wars? Obi-Wan.
The Master of Sass.
Yeah,
I can't wait for his episode.
Dude.
That's going to be fun.
I'm so looking forward to that.
That's going to be a fun episode. Okay, let's see what more questions we got. Okay, another one from Hufflemom394. How do we stay focused on topic while recording?
You're a fool to think we stay focused.
Yeah, how much of our episode do you cut out of us just getting sidetracked?
Out of an hour-long recording,
On average?
10, 15 minutes.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it'd be way more.
It's gotten a lot better. When we first started, it was like half the episode, but now it's like 10 minutes of it.
Apparently we've gotten better at keeping ourselves reined in.
Yeah, dang, I'm impressed. I still thought we were I thought we were way worse. Especially with our tangents. That's why I'm not allowed to record well.
Apparently we've gotten better tangents that are actually being related.
Yeah, that helps a lot.
Yeah, no, we did get off on some we're just we were talking about Falcon. Now somehow we're talking about Doctor Doom in a completely different continuity. Why?
How did we get here?
Good question.
Okay. Looks like we got us a final what I believe is our final question from Hufflemom394. And here's the question. How did we all meet? And what made us decide to start doing a podcast? And how did we decide the theme?
That's a long answer.
I mean,
how we met one, because if you want to go deep into it, it's like,
You're not getting that deep.
yeah, we ain't doing that.
Okay, so honestly, I don't think it's a bad talking point, especially considering clearly we did not have a lot of questions. No. So this might not be a bad one to, let's not go that deep, but let's kind of just
And easy starting point is me and Dick met in high school as freshmen playing football.
Yep. So yeah, we've known each other. Oh God, we're old.
We're kind of up on almost 20 years. We're at 15.
Jesus.
What are you gonna do for your 20-year anniversary?
Not kill each other?
Which honestly, I think we're doing better than most married couples in that regard.
Yeah, which is kind of sad.
Right? 50% of marriages end in divorce. The other 50% end in death. What are we going to do about this?
Well, at least we're not that 50%.
Right? Or, goddamn. Yeah, so me and Joker met in high school. And so eventually Joker went off into the world to learn a trade. And that's when I met my best friend. She is on the TikTok. Nympho something. I don't know what she's up to with it. But anyway, so I've met Mrs. Let's call her Mrs. C. That works. Yeah, I met Mrs. C, and she introduced me and her. Just became real good friends. Well, and while Joker was off there learning a trade and venturing across the world, Mrs. C would eventually introduce me to Mr. B. And they started dating, and eventually Joker would return as the prodigal child of craft, and we would start hanging out. I'd introduce him to Mrs. C and Mr. B, and eventually they would introduce us to Mr. Moon.
And I really wasn't even introduced. It was more of a, hey, Joker, we have new friends.
Yeah, actually,
that was how I came to know those two. Like, there was no, hey, these are who these people are. Get to know them. Like, no, these are your new friends.
Yeah, it was literally, I was just like, Joker, come drink with our new friends. and then,
behold, here we are 10 years later almost.
Yeah.
Fucking close best friends that the world's ever seen.
Right? And honestly, now let's kind of, because this is actually kind of a personal story, personal to me as far as how we got this going up. I had attempted with Joker a few times to get some online production groups like this going in the past.
We only tried once.
Or we only tried one.
You have tried multiple times.
I've tried multiple times. My story is one of failure. And that consistently. Like imagine d-rael, but, just less successful with the ladies. So we got out there, and eventually I stopped trying to do online production groups, and I decided to go into stand-up comedy. And I was doing good at it. I did it for about a year, open mics, before, some family issues occurred that made me have to stop. But I was going to get right back into it as soon as that ended. And then the world shut down.
The world told you no.
And it's one of those, I get it affected all of us. But how when I'm actually succeeding and doing good at something and the world's just like, yeah, we're going to need you to settle down. How do I not feel like that's a personal attack on me? Like, I know it's not logically, I know. But emotionally, I felt a little like it was personal. So at a certain point during this pandemic of me going stir crazy, Mr. Moon came to me with an idea. And the center.
Yeah. I mean, you've shared your creative interests and desires in the past, and I thought, what better time than now to actually buckle down and figure it out and give it a shot.
Yeah. So, I remember you came to me and you're like, hey, I want to start like a little online production group, like sketch group and stuff. And honestly, it was a situation of like, I'll admit to you, I actually didn't want anything to do with that first, just because like a history of failure. Like it wasn't even anything with you. It was just like almost flashbacks, just like the our effing that Vietnam song from Forrest Gump playing in the back of my head. I'm just like, no. But I also knew you had things that I'd never had. You actually were interested in doing this. You actually had an idea of what you're doing on your side of the things.
Yeah, we took the idea, we refined it, we had an idea of what we were going to try to do, and we just did.
He also had the money to help us start this.
Yeah, that was
get us equipment.
Not gonna lie, that was definitely a selling point. Where I'm just like, I don't know, Mr. Moon. Like it's just like it's hard, and you're just like, I'll fund your ideas. I'm like, wait, money? We've never had money before.
What is this money?
Yeah, I bought a $200 camera. That was the height of my expenses with the other production groups. And then Mr. Moon's here, and he's just like, oh no, I can get us equipment. And I'm like, what? I'm like, this actually might work.
It was at that moment you knew you were stuck.
Yep.
And honestly, because like I'll admit, we all in our group kind of sometimes bang heads, and that we have our issues. But
it's called creative differences.
That's the beauty of the relationships, though.
Oh yeah.
Imagine how boring a group would be if we all thought the same, felt the same, and did
we probably wouldn't be doing this.
Exactly. Echo chambers don't work, and I ain't looking for yes men. I'm looking for people that are willing to explain and argue their point. And honestly, I'll admit, I don't think we would have made it this far without the three of us.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
Because I've had other people ask me, like, hey, how do you get your stuff going so well? Like, I'm trying to start my own podcast. How do I do it? I'm like, honestly, it's not just me. It's a 3-tier effort.
We got very lucky as we started this because we did have multiple people.
And we all compensate for each other's, like, weaknesses, too.
But his vibe.
Yeah. Like, we may not always get along, but we all get along, if that makes sense. Like, we all compensate for each other's shortcomings. We're all good at working with each other. And that, yeah, we have our problems, but also sometimes, like, I'll admit, I got irritated in the beginning when some of my jokes got cut. But looking back at it, I'm like, that was probably a good call.
Yeah, some of your jokes definitely needed to be cut.
I was a bit rusty, I'll admit. And honestly, I think that's why the only reason we made it this far is because you guys were like, no, we can't have you saying that. And I'm like, why? And then later on, I'm like, that was actually probably a good call.
And that is kind of my big job on this. I keep him reined in.
Yeah, no, Joker keeps me grounded. I feel like he keeps both of us grounded, Mr. Moon. Because we both can get our heads in the clouds sometimes.
Especially you,
Yeah.
Mr. Moon.
Yeah.
His name is perfect.
Oh my God, it is. We didn't even do that on purpose.
As we weren't even 3 episodes in, he's thinking way too high. It's like, no, back to Earth.
They're called dreams and aspirations. Try it sometime.
No, we can't have him get his head in we can't have 3 of us in the sky, man. But I think that's kind of covered this year in review, and I'm hoping we can continue because.
Do we have any different feelings from the last special episode we did?
Yeah. How do you feel about now, a year and
Instead
40 episodes later?
Instead of, what was it? Almost. I think it was a 6-month episode almost.
Yeah, we were like 30 episodes in, I think. No.
I was like, not that. Say we were like 20-something. We were about halfway.
I'd have to say I'm still committed. I still enjoy it. I still have fun. My only thing is, and this is why we really need y'all out there to share us, get us out there, start getting us more followers and listeners, because we would love to do this full time because we have other ideas that we would love to get out there. We have other show ideas that we love to start doing, but we got jobs. We can't do this full time and expect to make rent. So, hey.
Yeah, right now it's a passion project. We're doing this for fun.
Exactly, but I'd love it. Like we've all agreed on some ideas from some other things that would just be so awesome to get out there.
Just we need help getting us out there so we have the time to be able to do said other projects.
And the thing is, too, let me tell you, we listen to our fans. We've done, especially early on, there were a few episodes we did simply because fans suggested it. So, we're not ignoring you. We'll listen if you got something to say to us.
Yeah, I know I definitely feel a whole lot better about us now from 6 months ago because we did go through the break, which is the one thing that worried me the most.
Yep, but we made it.
I didn't think I was afraid we would hit that break and then just hit our brakes and not want to start again.
But we came back with vengeance. And honestly, I think we got this. So you know what? I guess heck,
If you're a fan of us.
I was gonna say, Mr. Moon, Joker, are you a fan?
Of you? No. Not at all.
Feelings mutual when I have to listen to you snore, so.
You're one to talk.
Well, you know what? I'm a fan of the podcast. For anyone that's still listening, if you got something out of this, enjoyed the episode, or even liked the character before from a movie, a comic, cartoon, hell, even that t-shirt that you saw one time, you're a fan too. If you want to jump on this train, why not subscribe and share with a friend? d-rael out. Y'all keep riding them rails.